All right, another night of CBS pushing their left-wing agenda.
Another big story we are following tonight. President Trump declared a national emergency today to help build a wall on the southern border. Opponents are already working on lawsuits to stop it. Here's Major Garrett.
I didn't need to do this.
The national emergency.
They took a clip out of context in order to make it sound like the wall is unnecessary. There is no national emergency. But what he was talking about was that he could have hypothetically built the wall just using Congress without doing the executive action, but that would have taken longer. And so he's not going to sit around and wait on Congress. More importantly, what Trump says or thinks should have no bearing on whether this is legal or not. If CBS was being honest, they would interview some lawyers, some legal experts. See, the whole point of this is to scold Trump.
The national emergency declaration means the president will try to sidestep Congress and divert billions from other federal programs to accelerate border wall construction.
We're going to do it one way or the other. We have to do it. We have an invasion of drugs and criminals coming into our country.
The administration said it intends to spend roughly $8 billion to build 234 miles of steel wall. Congress approved a fraction of that, just under $1.4 billion for border barriers.
And by the way, why isn't CBS criticizing the Democrats and Nancy Pelosi, who had previously said they weren't going to give Trump $1 for a border wall?
I got $1.4 billion, but I'm not happy with it.
The rest.
See, CBS is trying to characterize $1.4 billion as plenty of money, and it's just Trump who's greedy.
Rest comes from the Treasury Department and the Pentagon. $2.5 billion that would have been used to fight drug trafficking, and $3.6 billion for military construction projects. The administration refused to say which projects will now lose money.
Oh, a heart-tugging story about projects that are going to lose money. But CBS will never do a story about the cost of illegal immigration to taxpayers.
I won't go into details, but didn't sound too important to me.
Fortunately, Donald Trump is not the last word. The courts will be the last word.
And isn't it ironic that Gavin Newsom, the guy who refuses to completely abandon the California rail boondoggle, all of a sudden, what, he's the authority on fiscal responsibility?
California's Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom is already preparing a lawsuit challenging Mr. Trump's emergency declaration. Other states and advocacy groups may also sue. The democratically led House is likely to move to block the president.
Sadly, we'll be sued, and sadly, it'll go through a process, and happily we'll win, I think.
Building the wall and having Mexico pay for it was one of candidate Trump's signature campaign promises.
This is something that CBS and the left doesn't understand. Who cares who pays for the wall? Just build the thing. If Trump had just said, I'm tough on immigration, that right there would have been good enough. He's not losing votes if Mexico doesn't pay for the wall, directly or indirectly.
And Mexico is going to pay for the wall. Don't worry about it.
See, this is CBS taking a jab at Trump because CBS is pushing their agenda. CBS is like Snopes. They selectively attack Republicans. Where was CBS when the Democrats said they were going to have that California high-speed rail done by 2020 at a cost of $37 billion and would get you from New York to Los Angeles in 2 hours and 40 minutes?
With the 2020 race already underway, the president acknowledged the political reality.
For the election, I've already done a lot of wall for the election. 2020.
You see, CBS is trying to characterize the wall as Trump's vanity project. Who cares if it was a campaign promise? What are campaign promises that get you elected? Stuff that voters want. It's not about Trump's ego.
Mr. Trump also brushed aside fears from some Republicans that he was setting a precedent for future Democratic presidents to pursue policies the GOP strongly opposes.
Yeah, CBS just looking for any possible angle they can. Another one I love is, this is going to create a constitutional crisis.
The courts will determine that. Look, I expect to be sued. I shouldn't be sued.
The president did not mention this today, but his emergency declaration also gives the Pentagon the power to call up and deploy the reserves to assist in border wall or border barrier construction. Now, no such order has been given, but the authority pending legal challenges, now exists. Jeff?
Major, thanks very much.
Yeah, thanks for spinning this story.